Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Arclight's Asylum. I'm your host, Zach. We've got another episode of real-time painting for you tonight. Quick shout out to the channel sponsor, A3AL Minis and Games. Derek has been helping support my endeavors for a few years now. I'm very grateful for it. Pardon me, I'm burping off to the side here. Can blame my Diet Coke for that. Check out Derek's web store, A3ALsminisandgames.com, for anything and everything Battletech. He's also got a ton of other miniature and game lines available, as well as some other hobby-related supplies, all that good stuff. I am a Canadian, but he is my number one pick for anything Battletech related coming from south of the border. Tonight, we're going to go ahead and finish off the forward operating base set from Death Ray Designs. There's a handful of details we still need to paint on the guard towers as well as the tents. We also have some stuff to kind of block in and paint on the crate pile thing, whatever that thing is with all the hexagonal crates. We're going to get that finished. Shouldn't take us too long. I do apologize for the cancellations. The last couple streams I've been dealing with a sick kid. That's never fun. And then dealing with battling whatever that sick kid had for a week after the kid's not sick. Equally not fun. But yeah, we made it. We're going to crush this project this evening, but I do have some other news. I'm going to be taking a quick hiatus for a couple weeks, 2-3 weeks, maybe close to a month. Just depends. It's mostly just to do with work picking up with the fall. I've also got some a special project I've been kind of working on that I'm partway complete. I haven't had a lot of time to work on it, and I've had it on hold for quite some time, and I would like to get it finished, but it's unfortunately a project. It's for a yet to be canonized paint scheme. It's about all I can really say without breaking my NDA, so I'll leave it at that. But yeah, I want to get that thing finished. There's not an actual time limit on it. I've had it sitting for a few months now. I just want to get it done. So yeah, but once I'm finished with that project, as well as potentially one other, I will be back with some more painting. You'll likely see me doing some lances in the future, as I am currently building out a couple different forces at the same time. I've got some Clan Protectorate stuff that I'm building by way of Spirit Cats, Shiva Keshik, also potentially some First Protectorate Guardians. That's a pretty cool paint scheme. There's a bit of an art rendition of that in Empire alone. I want to say page 86. I could be incorrect on that, but 86, 89, somewhere around there. But it's like dark olive drab with like some white stripes up top, and then a fade to white on like the lower legs to the feet. Looks pretty cool. But yeah, I'm also filling out my Sword of Light ranks with some more mechs. I've also got a few more mechs getting added to my Eridani Light Horse. These are going to be added to the 21st Striker Regiment, which is what that Highlander that was up there a few seconds ago was part of. But yeah, I'm going to add a few more mechs to that as well. So going to be a lot of airbrushing. The Sword of Light's going to be fun because that's going to be some nice bright, vibrant red. I know a lot of people have asked in the past how I do my Sword of Light mechs because they are very vibrant. So you folks will get to see that beginning to end. Yeah, I'm going to do 21st Striker Regiment for a few mechs. It's that little emblem there. But yeah, in the meantime though, in the Discord. I'll still be popping in there, chatting, hanging out, so don't fret. I won't be completely radio silent for the few weeks that the stream will be. Speaking of the Discord, quick reminder, pop on over to the Discord if you haven't already. In the Real-Time Painting channel, go ahead and post all of your work in progress shots, photos of your finished minis, and any other hobby and art related things you want to share. I've got the link in the description on YouTube. I've also dropped it into the chat for both YouTube and Twitch. Without further ado, let's hop over to the painting desk. Let's get to it. Oakley dokley. I think we're good to go. What's going on, Nighthawks and Warwolf? Happy to see you both in the chat. All right, I've already got my wet palette prepared here. This is just for me putzing around on that other project that I was alluding to. But yeah, it's a relatively good to go palette paper, so we're just going to use it. I'm going to go ahead and block in black the windows on the guard towers. I'm also going to block in just where the lights are going to be. And then I'm going to go in with some olive drab and block in just on the doorway that's on the guard tower there. Just that little guy right there. I'm going to do that on both. Boom. And I don't know, I'm debating, but I think I might just leave it this color. I was thinking about maybe potentially changing the color of the ladder. I'm not sure. I might. We'll see. I might paint it brown and then like dry brush it with a little bit of metallic, just to make it kind of look like a rusty ladder, but we'll see. Wolf 22, looking forward to the project's end result and reveal. Nice. Yes, me too. We're also going to do a little bit of quick dry brushing on the Hasco barriers just on the soil. But yeah. And then on the crates, we're going to block in just in black all of this stuff. Actually, I'm probably going to block in with dark brown and gray, and then I'm going to dry brush a little bit of metallics on to like this stuff, and then apply a nice dirty wash and maybe some pigment powders, and we'll call that good. On the tents, the fabric doors are just going to kind of stay the same. I'm not really going to do too much on those, but there is these little flap doors. I'm going to paint those a darker solid color and then add a couple basic highlights and chipping. Same thing with these little placards. These are like, like ID or label placards, like signage to tell you like, is this the HQ tent? Is this the med tent? Is this first platoon's tent? That kind of thing. So I'm just going to paint those like a flat gray or something like that, and then I'm going to do like a white 1 or a white 2 or a white 3, depending on the one that I'm working on. We're also going to do a couple quick basic washes, well, just a basic wash on these, just to dirty them up and give them a bit of patina. But yeah, I think to start off, we're probably going to do the dry brush, just because that'll go relatively quickly. I'm going to do a mix of colors. I'm going to do a little bit of bloodstone and a little bit of the desert yellow and hammerfall khaki mix that I have here. Back this out. Nice, yeah, I missed the last couple streams, super busy, but yeah, definitely looking forward to the end result. Good, 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 good. Giving this a good shake. Big fan of this color. It's a very good ruddy brown. Go ahead and grab this guy right here. Make that last a little bit. Just gonna tap that. We're gonna mix that ruddy brown with a bit of that desert yellow, just like so. like a good mid-tone brown that has like a pretty good red undertone. Let's grab, where's my mixing brush? There's, put that down there. Make sure to get off a decent amount of the excess here. I want just like very gentle highlighting. Nothing too crazy or stark. Oh, they will come back in with just a little bit of the pure desert yellow mix. Now, if you remember, I don't know if you weren't all here for the last stream, I used a little bit of pigment powders and kind of washed them onto the Hescos to tint the existing paint that was already there. It did a pretty good job, but I just want to add the additional highlights here just because I felt they were a little bit muted. I guess I'm going to go ahead and zoom this in just slightly. Hyped to see the final product. What's going on, Dewdrops? Playing MechWarrior Online right now, getting trashed on. Nice. I played a little bit of MechWarrior Online this past weekend, actually. I had a few games that went pretty well. I really enjoyed the their special event queue that they had running last week. It was pretty fun. It was 2 Lance versus 2 Lance games with each player had a 4 mech drop deck, and it was like kind of a domination style game. Really, really fun. I had a good time doing that. I got quite a bit. It's actually where I got quite a bit of damage. If you look in the House of Game channel on the Discord, I've got some photos of all the damage I did. I was playing the first 2 mechs that I used was a Champion 1NB and then a Magcat Mark II Bravo. So it's just like a MechWarrior Online apocryphal variant, but I run it with either 2 Ultra AC5s and 2 Ultra AC10s, or 2 LBX5s and 2 LBX10s. Both are equally devastating, and both are fun in their own way. The Ultra Autocannon just creates so much like havoc, but I do like doing the quad LBXs because, I mean, you just crit seek like crazy. It's awesome. Nighthawks 86 just got back from Barnes & Noble trip. Got myself the Game of Armored Combat box and Great Death Legion Heavy Battle Plans. Whole other company of mechs added to the pile. Yeah, the 1200 damage game is wild. It was 1500 damage actually. Is the Discord gonna get a community game night? 100%. That's something I wouldn't mind doing to kind of. I was thinking about doing that in the next couple weeks because I'm going to be working on a project that I can't stream. So as a way of kind of continuing to stream, I could do like a game night and play MechWarrior Online or something like that. I think that'd be fun. Just mixing up some more of this paint on my palette. I think I got a little bit too much moisture in my brush. I'm just going to stamp this out. bit too much moisture. I'm going to go ahead and throw down just a little bit more of the desert yellow on my palette. Actually, this is quite a thin paint, so this is adding to the moisture content of the paint that I'm trying to dry brush here. Which is a little bit ironic. It's working a little bit better. I'm definitely going to come back in with just a little bit of the pure desert yellow, just a dry brush. I have a resupply paint on its way to me from Tista Minis in Canada. Picking up some AK Interactive paints and restocking a few 4mm P3 paints that they actually have in stock, which I'm pretty happy about. So they also have some of the old, like the OG Vallejo game color colors, like their older formula, and I really enjoy those. And one of their grays that they have that is probably my favorite cold mid-tone gray is heavy blue gray. And yes, I'm very excited that I found that, because it's been out of stock everywhere else that I've looked for a very, very long time. Speaking of that Barnes & Noble trip to pick up the Game of Armor Combat box, I'm actually looking to get just the mechs from a Game of Armor Combat, as well as the Clan Invasion box set. The reason being, I actually used to have those mechs because I bought both those box sets, but then I eventually sold those mechs because I painted them and sold them off as other things. But I completed the Mercenaries box set, and also completed the Alpha Strike box set, and I wouldn't mind, like, I have the foam inserts for the boxes, which is kind of cool. I got those from Feldherr, and I wouldn't mind doing that with my, I have like the, Game of Armor Combat box, but I also have the limited edition Kickstarter version of the Clan Invasion box. So I wouldn't mind filling out both those boxes with painted minis. I think the ones for the Game of Armor Combat would probably get painted as Eridani Light Horse, just in keeping with a lot of the other ones that I have. And then I think the ones from the Clan Invasion would probably get painted as Nova Cats. I don't know if I'd paint them as Alpha Galaxy again. I might paint them as Sigma. Or maybe I'll go crazy and I'll go with G Provisional Galaxy. I know Brushido would love that. Yeah. I'm going to go ahead and grab just a bit of pure desert yellow. I want to make sure I don't have any moisture left in this brush. Great Death Legion gave me my first two clan mechs. Just going to decide what clan to do. Yeah, what mechs are in the Great Death Legion one? I don't remember. Maybe I can help you out there. Just put that off on my thumb. There we go. Working a little bit better. Doing a final touch with just the desert yellow here. Just make sure I get some of the excess off on my thumb, because it seems to not take off too much of the paint when I do it on my thumbnail as opposed to doing it on the paper towel. Lesson learned, but that's okay. Definitely like the look of the soil. It looks like very, like, I don't know, like maybe this is like the Moab desert and they've used the soil to fill these Hescos with it. Okay, so Catapult, K2, Jumping Shadowhawk, and then the two clanners of the Gargoyle and the Region. Yeah, Gargoyle leaves a little bit to be desired. I don't remember, is it the Gargoyle Prime that they give you in that one, or is it a variant? Because if it's the Prime, it's definitely like kind of lackluster. It's not terrible. I mean, it does have the I think it's either LBX5 or LBX10s. Yeah, I don't know. I actually, I don't think I have gargoyles in any of my yeah, I don't think I have painted one gargoyle, but it wasn't for me. It was for a commission that I did a few years back for Alex, who ran Steel Warrior Studios. If you folks have been around the Battletech world for a little while, you probably would remember Steel Warrior Studios. They used to kind of be one of the primary printing vendors for, actually I think they were the primary printing vendor for Thunderhead Studios. I got to meet Alex in person because he operated out of Winnipeg, which is only a couple hours from me. So, but something happened, and I guess he made a couple unfortunate business decisions and had to shut the business down. But yeah, I don't know, because I ended up doing, it was not Steel Keshik, Golden Keshik of Clan Wolf, and I did a gargoyle. I did the mechs from the I think it was the Clan Invasion box set, essentially. Yeah. Alrighty, pretty much done with the dry brushing. I'm gonna go ahead and apply a all-over wash on the tents. Actually, no, I'm gonna wait. I'm gonna go ahead and block in on this. I'm gonna grab a little bit of dark brown. I'm gonna zoom out here. It's the C and or F. The C and or F, is that for the gargoyle? I'll be brutally honest, I actually don't really know the gargoyle variants very well. It's just kind of been one of those mechs that's never really been high up on my radar for whatever reason. Just reaching ahead here to grab a brush. I'm going to grab a little bit of dark gray. This black gray from Vallejo, and then this is chocolate brown. I'm going to kind of mix these colors a little bit. Just want to make kind of like a dark brown gray, and just gonna kind of paint along the edges. Once I paint all this, I'm going to apply a big dark wash on some of these areas. Grab a little bit of moisture. Whopping this up. Gonna get the bulk of all this done. Go ahead and rinse out my brush. Now that I've got most of that done, I'm going to come back in and I'm going to be a little bit more neat and tidy around the edges here. Just like so. Mostly these top edges. I'm going to be dirtying these up quite a bit, so I don't need to be like insanely neat with this color. I am just trying to make sure I don't get those little raised bits. On the inside here. Once I do this side, I'm going to set this down just so this side completely dries, because I don't want to pick this up and handle it. If I'm painting the other side, I don't want to handle this side and potentially rub the fresh paint off. So I'll just move on to painting something else in the meantime while this dries completely. Sorry, I'm a bit late. Got distracted making brisket tacos for me and the wife. Nice. What all did you miss? Not much. Not a whole lot. Just jibber jabbering. Well, I guess you did miss at the beginning of the stream there. I am not going to be streaming for a few weeks after this. So we're going to finish this up tonight, and then I'm going to be kind of radio silent for a little bit on the stream, just because I'm working on another project that I can't really share on the stream, and I want to get that one done. I don't need to get it done. Well, I do need to get it done, but there's not an actual time crunch on it other than the one I'm imposing on myself, because it's been just kind of sitting in limbo for a while, and I would like to finish it. Just going to set that down just for the time being. And just in keeping with a similar color palette, we're just going to go ahead and we're going to do the framing and the door. I think I'll probably end up grabbing a few gloves. This is drying out on my brush. I think I'll probably end up grabbing a couple gloves, or a glove rather, just to prevent me from getting the oils in my hands all over this when I do that quickly before I continue on. All right. I can grab my Diet Coke. Understandable, I have to give myself deadlines to make sure ADHD brain thinks it's crunch time, even though the daytime I set was completely arbitrary. Yep, I feel that. All right. Just about dry. I think it's dry enough for us to handle here. Be very careful with this. Quickly to spread this as much as possible. So like that, quickly right up into the ferrule there. Clean up along edges. Change the music quickly here. Chill beats. It is Labor Day Monday after all. Hope you folks had a good long weekend. I just hung out with the fam. It was pretty nice. Oh, shaping up pretty nice. What are we working on for tonight? Finishing up the forward operating base set from Death3AL Designs. That's what we're working on. Damn, after ads that make it into the stream. Yeah, I hear Twitch is like I don't really watch things on Twitch, but I hear the viewer experience on Twitch is getting pretty gnarly. Pardon me, when it comes to ads, which I think is unfortunate. I've seen a few, like Asmongold was talking about how Twitch is kind of dying recently. I know a lot of people love streaming on Rumble and other platforms, Kick. I thought about starting up a Kick account. Because technically I can triple stream. I can stream to multiple platforms, so I can set up a Kick stream as well if I wanted, I guess. Apparently there's better exposure on there, but I'm also not an expert. I also don't really do this for money for a living, so I guess I would just be doing it for additional exposure just because reasons. So I finished this side, I'm just going to go back and check the other side and make sure I didn't miss anything. I learned how to burn 3,000 calories while sleeping this weekend. That's the last time I take a nap with brownies in the oven. Nice. It's a good dad. That's a really good dad joke. I really appreciate that one. Tradios, what's going on? First time I've seen you in here. I've had 5 minutes of ads straight before. That's pretty awful. Man, Tardis, it's alright if you get a small cut. I was just shocked that there was that many. Yeah, I heard that recently there's been like a market uptick in ads on Twitch specifically. And yeah, apparently like very recent, as in like the last few weeks. I feel like we've come full, like, especially with like most streaming services, I feel like we've just come full circle when it comes to cable. I really do. I mean, every fucking service has a subscription now. It's brutal. Yeah, I get it. Like, somebody's got a profit, but like, goddamn, dude. Like, the one thing I hate too is if you pay for a subscription and you still get ads. Like, there's like Amazon Prime, for example. Like, if you you pay for Prime Video, you still get ads on a lot of things, and then they have this thing where you can pay an extra $2 or $3 a month to not have ads. And I was just like, okay, well, like that's. Now you're creating like an additional tier to the subscription. Okay, I guess. But then I select that. But it doesn't get rid of all the ads. It only gets rid of ads from Amazon Prime originals. If you're watching shows from other services, you get their ads still. So it's like, what are we doing here? Anyways, it's me complaining about first world problems. My magic box that spews like cinematic adventures to me is showing me advertisements. Make this paint a little bit more. There we go. Okay, I think we're good to go on the crates for right now. I'm gonna let this sit, and then we'll go in and do a wash on these shortly. I'm gonna move all these Hascos out of the way because these are all done. Don't need to do any more work on these. I don't want to inadvertently get paint on them. Oops. That'd be no bueno. I'm going to go in and finish painting the doors on the rest of the tents. And by the doors, I mean these like wood or plastic panel doors. These little man doors on the side. Little person doors, I should say. Be more inclusive. No. Just gonna do some like very basic highlighting on these doors, and do a couple like basic scratches. And then we'll do the wash on all these tents and the crates. And then we'll move on with some of the other details that are on these tents. Little Quonset hut things. It's amazing how many materials you can make the same kind of structure out of. Seen tin Quonset huts, plastic Quonset huts, tent Quonset huts. Seen all kinds of Quonset huts, all manner of Quonset huts in my time in the military. I've seen wooden Quonset huts that were just like wholly made out of wood, roof and all. Okay. I'm bringing up a little bit of basalt gray. Good shake. Very basic edge highlights because these have some good hard edges. Don't need to be fancy. So as you can see there, I just did some very basic, very basic scratches and stuff like that on the door. Praise YouTube Premium. I have YouTube blocks on PC, but when on my phone, oh god, it's scams. Like every ad is complete scam. Ew. Even porn, eh? That's crazy. Just having that discussion about the NFL. If you want to watch all the games, you got to shell close to $1,000 with all the subscriptions you need. That's brutal. And that's by design. You know 100% that's by design, too, which is the worst part. But yeah, you know, corporate greed will find a way, man. Like, don't get me wrong, I'm a good capitalist, but, man, the corporations, man. I mean, you know, it's what it is. Same thing, just doing a couple little dings on that door. I missed that brief golden age when everything was on Netflix. Then Amazon Prime and Disney Plus started. Yeah. It's just cable at this point. Wait a second, there was a service you subscribed to that had all the channels under one umbrella. What a novel concept. Catalyst said they would have Aces at PAX Unplugged for sale, so looking forward to that in November. Nice. What branch did you serve in? Former Army myself. Thank you for your service. Thanks for your support. Mantardis got to boost that shareholder value 100%. Yeah, I'm super excited for Aces. I'm gonna get it as soon as it comes out. I have the beta test cards printed out because I got the beta test rules package and card package with my Mercenaries Kickstarter. I've tried it out a few times. It's really, really fun. Oh, I just realized I gotta paint that that door there. As far as branch, I'm Army, current serving. I'm in the infantry. Up until very recently, I was in my battalion's reconnaissance platoon. But I'm a broken troop, unfortunately. I'm a broken man on a Halifax pier. So I'm now in a more administrative role within my company. I'm my company quartermaster right now. Which isn't the worst thing. Aside from field exercises, and even then, you know, like I'm fairly administrative during field exes at the moment, just due to my my medical limitations. But blown out both my hips. I've had bilateral labrum repairs, and I've sheared cartilage off from inside the my right hip socket. So it's unfortunately arthritic at this point and hurts just existing. So it is what it is. Got Gothic at Nova Open, but have not opened it yet. They even have salvage boxes for Gothic, but it's the same like 8 max from the box, so no clue why they did salvage boxes. I reckon so folks didn't need to go all in on like the box if they just want to get like a mystery lance, or if they want to build out a company like 12 mechs versus just 8. I don't know. I think the biggest fuck up they did with that whole Gothic thing was not including any abominations in the box. I mean, half the art and lore revolves around the abominations, and they don't have any in the box set, which I think is just a mistake. But far be it for me to critique Catalyst Game Lab's business practices. That one's good. And we'll do this guy. Pretty gnarly. Chronic pain is always tough to manage. Yeah, it sucks. I have a king size Endy mattress, which is, I don't know, it's like memory foam and pretty comfortable, and like I have a hard time sleeping at night sometimes. Like thankfully I'm in pretty good shape. Like I'm not carrying excess body fat or anything to weigh me down and make my joints additionally sore than they already would be. But yeah, it's not fun some days. It's mostly just the right hip that bothers me, thankfully. The left one I managed to get repaired in a relatively timely fashion, but I injured the right hip in fall of 2020 during the height of COVID. And the military medical system being what it is, they kind of dicked me around a little bit, unfortunately. And then along with COVID slowing things down, it took me a long time to get in to see a surgeon and really get a proper assessment of what was going on in there. So I had a lot of additional wear and tear. Like, I was still doing my job with a torn hip, like for a year and a half plus, you know, doing infills, exfills with, you know, 90 pounds on my back plus 60 pounds of kit carrying a machine gun. Yay, Army. Not service related. No. Thankfully, so I should also clarify, I'm Canadian military. I'm not US military, because I am Canadian, if you couldn't tell. But Veterans Affairs Canada, like, I did a claim with them and they approved it, so I got a decent little payout. I won't say how much, but a decent little payout for the hip injury. So, yeah. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and apply a wash to the tents as well as the crates. I'm going to use this guy here. Tradios, they also have Big Gothic Atlas, but did not fly in for Nova, but had them at Gen Con. So similar to the Timberwolf from the Kickstarter size. Yeah, it's same scale. C scale, I think is what they're calling it. See if insurance will cover H-Wave. It's amazing. Can get you through VA here in the States. Yeah, I unfortunately I don't think I could utilize that being Canadian. Lack of abominations is short-sighted in my opinion. If Battletech Gothic catches on, they might at that point, but it seems like a chicken versus egg situation. Army doctors will still fucking up. Some things never change. So yeah. Well, funny thing is, it's a civilian doctor who works at my military medical center on base. That yeah, I really shouldn't speak. Unfortunately, in Canada, we don't really have free speech, and especially in the military, we don't have free speech. So I won't disparage my base clinic on stream, but it was a less than desirable experience. I will definitely say that. I'm gonna go ahead and grab some strong tone here from Army Painter. Baird's Privateers was a dead giveaway, if you know. Oh, hell yeah. And the year was 1778. How I wish I was in Sherbrooke now. Saw some thinner and foil improver here. US isn't any better or different, yeah. I think as far as things go, Canadian military has it pretty good. I mean, we're the second best paid military in the world. The Australians have the best paid military in the world. And we're getting a pay raise right now, which I think is pretty amazing. I think I actually make more than enough money for what I do, but I'll happily take more money. That said, I think I'd rather have that money go to buying more shit for us to do stuff with. Just my 2 cents. Go. Just getting that all mixed up. I just wanted to thin this down a bit. Use a bigger brush, I think. I'm gonna use use this one here. Pretty big brush. Start from the top and work our way down. Really just focusing mostly on the green. A bit of water to my brush just to kind of help move it around a bit more. Thin things down just a little bit. Wipe a little bit of this over top of the gray areas. Really just trying to make sure I have like all these recesses filled in, but I don't want the high facing panels to be too dark. So I'm just adding a little bit of water into the mix to help gravity do its thing. Just setting this down here and kind of wicking up some of that wash. Dabbing that out on a paper towel. So as we added some water into this, as well as the flow improver, this is taking a little while to dry, which is giving us a little bit more working time. I am going to grab just a little bit of the pure wash, and we're going to kind of gently rinse it over the sides. I know this seems probably a little bit bizarre why I'm just setting this on the desktop and doing this, but I just don't want to be handling this if I don't need to. Do the same thing on the other side here. It's probably not the best viewing angle for you folks, but that's okay. I'm just quickly slopping it up with a acrylic wash. I'm actually going to thin this down even more using a little pipette. Added a lot more thinner to that. This is just airbrush thinner. Strong Tone, yo, hope your Labor Day was great. What's going on, White Fox? Yeah, Labor Day was good. Location I retired out of, I just had a small clinic, so everything was a referral, but insurance always seemed to send me to a doctor who did not even accept the insurance. That sucks. Yeah, I get a lot of like outpatient referral stuff as well. I mean, pretty much anything specialist is always outpatient, but it's just sometimes trying to get that referral is a pain in the ass. Drives me nuts. I'm gonna just go ahead and utilize a little bit of paint holder. Go ahead and wash this all down on the insides. This is very, very thin. I don't want to tint the stuff up top too heavily. I don't know, when it comes to the military, like I joined a little bit later in life. Like I didn't get in until I was 25. I'm 33 now. I've been in for just shy of 8 years. I did a couple pretty hard courses right off the hop, and managed to get into the reconnaissance role, which was fun and challenging, and a little bit more difficult physically and mentally than kind of your standard infantry job. So I enjoyed it for that, and I've had a good time. But my time in the infantry is done. I'm hoping to get a compulsory occupational transfer to a different trade in the military. It's things like counterintelligence and some other areas that interest me. Of course, if I ever got into counterintelligence, I would never be able to say so publicly, but that's also kind of why I think it would be cool. I did join the military with some pretty high aspirations. It's actually why I injured myself, so I'd like to continue to do something interesting if I'm going to stay in. If they give me a med release and they just want to send me on my way, I'm totally fine with that, because I have a pretty sturdy education benefit, especially with the length of time I've been in. I can pretty much, by the time I would get the med release, I would be able to max out the education benefit for all 80 grand that is offered. So, and I could go on, and I mean, they would pay me full salary for a couple of years, and then they have what's called the vocational rehab program, which, if I can prove that I'm going to school to prepare myself for my future, they'll continue that salary pay. So I can essentially go get a degree for 4 years and make full salary, not have to worry about my bills. And that's kind of the Army's way of saying, hey, sorry that you're fucked up, but here's at least a good fighting chance to go on to another career that'll pay at least, hopefully, as well as I was being paid in the military. Because I do get paid very well. As a corporal, I mean, I make in the low 80s for salary, which in US terms is probably closer, it's like, I think closer to 50, like mid 50s is what I make. But, you know, as far as being a corporal in the military and the infantry, it's pretty good. Like between my wife and I, we make a six-figure income easily. Like we're deep into, like, you know, like we have a comfortable income, although our economy kind of sucks here in Canada, so we're not living as comfortably as I think we should, given our collective household income. I think that's kind of the struggle nationwide right now, though, unfortunately. Really enjoy this strong tone because I don't know, it has like a bit of yellow in the ink, so I find it makes, like, you know, obviously it's brown, but I feel like it has like a yellow tone to it, so I feel like when I put it on this olive drab blend, it makes it a little bit more rich and saturated, if that makes sense. Big fan, personally. Make sure I kind of hit all these raised rib areas. Once these dry, I think I'm going to go in with like a dark red and paint the placard areas. And then I'll add some just basic Roman numerals with, you know, like 1, 2, and 3 for each tent. Probably do that in white or light gray. There we go. This is looking pretty good. Pop that guy off there. I'm gonna let the other stuff dry a little bit more. Because I don't want to waste any of this. And fire that back in here. It'll thin down the existing strong tone in here, but that's actually not a bad thing. It's pretty thick right out of the bottle, so oops. That'll actually do it a little bit of good. If you don't have any pipettes, I highly recommend getting some. You can get these in like, I don't know, I got this in like a 10-pack from Michael's for like $4 or something like that. I think it was less than that actually. It might have been $2 or $3. But yeah, super handy to have. 80K Canadian is 58K US, yeah. Strong tone is my liquid talent of choice for anything I want to stay warm, so basically anything non-metallic. I like it for metallics as well, actually. It helps them look grimy a little bit. Oops. Right. I'm gonna go ahead and grab a little bit of black ink, because that's what I like to use for blocking in my blacks. These out of the way. I'm just gonna go ahead and block in the windows. And then once I block in the windows, I'm gonna come back in with like an olive drab green, and then I'm gonna do the doors. Keep that bottom edge neat. Again on the other side here. And for the windows on the guard towers, once I base coat these in black, I'm going to start grabbing various shades of gray, like blue grays, and layering a few of those up to kind of form a rough gradient. And then I'll do a hard highlight in the bottom left corner of each panel, and then like kind of a spot white dot highlight in the top right, and then I'll add a few little scratches and whatnot to the windows, and that'll kind of complete the overall look. Just trying to move quickly to block these in. And then I'll also have to do these kind of little spotlights. I'm not going to do them as though they're glowing. I'm just going to do them as though they're just like spotlights that aren't lit. So I'm going to do them kind of like with a highly reflective look of sorts, mostly grayscale. Okay, that is all 4 on that one. Go ahead and it's my brush out. Go ahead and do the same process on the second one. sloppier than I could have, than I needed to be there, but that's okay. I'm trying to move quickly when I block this in, so that's what it is. Two more panels to do. We'll probably quickly block in the lights as well with some black. The reason I like doing black is I kind of leave a black border around everything on these panels and on the lights. Just helps to kind of delineate the transition between like one material and the other. And I like to kind of fill in within the black. It's just, I don't know, it's a good way to kind of break up the your little detail areas. For me personally, some people don't like it. I prefer it. Like one of my favorite steps is if I do like a bunch of airbrush work on a miniature to kind of build up some gradients and all that good stuff. Going in and picking out all the detail areas and blocking them in with black prior to going in and like doing any washes or edge highlighting. I really enjoy doing that. This really helps to break up the miniature and gives me a good picture of kind of, you know, what the rest of it's going to look like. Going around the world on the outsides of those kind of raised light bulb things here. So I'm still stuck on null oil for metallics. Yeah, fair enough. I don't like the new formula for null oil. I've actually, part of me has wanted to go to Coat d'Arms and get their black wash and try that instead of null oil. I've heard good things. Apparently it's very much like the old school Citadel black wash from back in the day, which was pretty nice, if I remember correctly. Because I dabbled a little bit with that when I was a kid. I really enjoyed it. Sloppier than I could. Yeah, I could have been a lot neater there. That's all. It's all good. Go ahead and repeat that process on the other side. One down, 3 to go. Painting up a couple mechs in a strike camo, use black bordering to make it cleaner. Hopefully have some pics for Discord soon. Nice. Yeah, I definitely find like doing some kind of outline color in between camo stripes, especially if you're doing big stripes, like if you're doing black camo stripes over green, I find doing like a dark gray border color around the black stripes helps to delineate like a good transition zone between the black and the green. Just some food for thought for you folks. And another one is if you're doing two different shades of green, using either a dark brown or a bright khaki, or both, as transitional lines between the two to kind of border them. Huge. Looks super good. Done this guy. Just so I can say that they're done, I'm just going to go ahead and grab a little bit of olive drab paint. Doing a green base with this one, having yellowish stripe, and the other is silver. Interesting. Yeah, I'll have to post photos of that. I'm interested to see how that looks. Just gonna find that door. This is just, I believe this is Army Green from Vallejo. I'll double check that in a second here actually, but it's just like an olive drab green. Just gonna layer this on in a base coat, and then I'm gonna apply a wash, and that's all I'm gonna do on this, because I'm all about low effort details right now. Get to the bottom edge of that one door there. Dropped my light down just slightly so I can see this a little bit better. Pardon my angle. There we go. Just wanted to make sure I got all the way around the edge. Clean as possible. Simple, easy, alrighty. These crates are basically done. Like, we don't really need to do too much with these. I might dry brush these very briefly on just some of these edges, but we'll do that right at the very end, I think. Alrighty, let's go on to the windows on these. We're gonna grab some somber gray, which is a blue gray. It's a dark blue gray. Also going to grab some wolf gray. Boom. It's also a blue gray. Kind of more mid-tone-ish. Then on that, I'm going to do a little bit of sky gray, which is like a very light gray. It's a little bit lighter than like ash gray. And then piece of paper towel over there. I'm also going to grab some white gray. It's going to kind of be like the highlight color. We're going to pretty much use these colors on the lights as well. To create a little bit of, you know, the insinuation of like, hey, this could be reflective. Grab a, whoa. I don't know why I did that with the guard on. Got my number 2 detailing brush here. It's just a little bit of a sharper tip. Add a little bit of water to my wet palette here, because I do see that the water levels dropped. It's kind of the last day of a heat wave right now. Didn't get crazy hot today, but definitely got warm. And actually, before I just move on here, I'm going to grab that strong tone, and I'm just going to wash it onto the door. Enough. So I'm gonna go ahead and grab the somber gray first. Now we're gonna focus mostly in the bottom left corner and kind of the bottom edge. Whoops. Don't need to be super neat. You need to add a little bit more water to that paint. It's a little bit too dry. Just going to clean up this little edge here. And that's the nice part about having that base layer of black. You can just come back in with a little bit of black around the edges just to kind of clean things up. Grab a little bit of water. Thin down that somber gray just a little bit. I'm going to add just a little bit more volume to this, just like so. And then let's move on to the next one. Work that bottom edge first. Side. Like so. This is very dark right now, but we're going to kind of go in very steep gradients with these other grays. A little bit more water to my brush here. We're going to go in steep gradients with these other grays, and it's going to get bright pretty quickly. Especially just kind of focusing on these edges in very small zones. So, and then we'll go on to this last panel. Okay. We're going to also repeat this process on these. So this will actually go relatively quick on these. So you're just coming across the that bottom edge and that left side, really covering a very small area, not a lot. So again, we're going to go in steep gradients to kind of build up the brightness here. And just making sure that I leave that black border around. Okay, so again, this is just very basic. Just a single color, not very bright at all, pretty dull actually. Once we go into the next gray, we'll start to brighten up a little bit, but once we get into the more neutral grays, that's where things get much brighter. Especially once we get into that sky gray. And you can use this on, like, I use this same jeweling technique on a lot of like cars and trucks and stuff like that. Just kind of nondescript military vehicles that I use on bases, or for like my photo stages, things like that. The little greeble vehicles that I have, like I will do this on some of those, just because it's a very simple way to show that, like, hey, this is glass and it's reflecting some light. Again, it doesn't have to be super smooth, but I do try to make it nice and neat around those edges. Everything else can be a little bit more scratchy. I will probably, toward the end of this, need to come in and clean up a few of the edges, and that's totally fine. All right, that's all 4 of those window panels. We're going to go to the light fixtures now. Really need to get back to my 3D printed mech scale union at some point. I have it painted and washed, but there's plenty of fine details to add. You definitely got to finish that. Mech scale dropships are awesome, but they're very daunting to paint. So I have it's a Thunderhead Studio Borealis dropship. It's like their Aurora dropship that Chris made, and I have it with all the different configuration pieces, so it can be in its mech transport configuration, its aerospace transport configuration, or its cargo pod transport configuration. It's super cool, super modular. There's all these different pieces, and it is so daunting because I haven't even assembled it yet, but just the cleanup and then like figuring out how everything goes together and then figuring out how I want to stage everything before I actually go ahead and paint it. Oh my, oh my. Not something I really want to have to think about too much. All right, we're going to go into this next gray, which is wolf gray. This is a very, like, this has a lot of blue in it, but it is a gray color. Okay. Really just trying to focus on mostly the edges as well as a tiny little area near the corner with this color. I'm just trying to do like kind of bold edge highlights. Just filling that area in the corner. I'm going to do another edge highlight color within this. So that is one of the reasons why I'm going kind of extra bold with the thickness. Just going to refine this one just a little bit. Go ahead and kind of do the same thing with the lights. Do a slightly smaller area than the previous layer. Especially up on the left side. There's my moisture in my brush here. There. Not sure if I've asked this, but do you have a preferred era to play in? How many pieces is it? The Aurora dropship from Thunderhead Studios. Like I'd have to count, but there's like I want to say at least 50 separate pieces. Like it is substantial. It is a fucking big dropship. Preferred era, I guess Civil War, technically. If I had to pick one era to be the only era I ever play in ever again, probably Civil War, because you have some pretty fun inner sphere tech at that point. You also have access to clan tech, and things hadn't gotten weird yet with the Jihad and the Word of Blake. I mean, the Word of Blake were already getting a little bit weird at that point, but you know what I mean. It was a fun era. Everybody had clan tech as well as like experimental inner sphere tech from the Hell Memory Core and other things that the scientists were learning. So I definitely am a big fan of that era personally. I also grew up with MechWarrior 4, Vengeance, Black Knight, and Mercenaries. So, I mean, that is played in that era. I also grew up with Mech Commander 2, which also plays in the Civil War era, albeit from a different perspective, which I actually really enjoy. But yeah, I'm a big fan. I do enjoy the Dark Age. Like, a lot of people hate on the Dark Age. I enjoy the Dark Age because I'm a child also of like the Clix era. Like, I played the MechWarrior Clix game back when I was like 10 years old, 10, 11, 12 years old at my local game store. So I have some pretty core memories with my dad doing that. That was like one of the few ways him and I connected. Going along the edges on these lights. A couple of these don't have perfectly sharp corners. not because of the paintwork, but because the actual miniature doesn't have perfectly sharp corners on some of these. Kind of making do, trying to just paint kind of within that previous layer. I'll have to tidy up a few of these at the end, but that's totally fine. I was already expecting to do that. I don't know, when it comes to eras, I actually would really love to explore kind of the dark, sorry, not the Dark Age, the Star League, like the first Star League era a little bit more. I think that'd be really fun. I think it would be fun to have like Zerg swarms of stingers and wasps and big SLDF regiments. I think it'd be pretty awesome. An area I kind of want to fix, and I'll probably have to come back in and fix this again, but that's okay. Well, air stuck in the brush there. Okay, let's move on to the next color, which is going to be that sky gray. We're going to do kind of small little edge highlights towards the corner here. Just like so. I'll scrub my brush so that doesn't dry out. The next color that we use after this is mostly going to be just concentrated in that corner. Will be the white gray, and then we'll kind of sharpen a few areas up with the black outlines. That's about good. Start kind of doing the same thing on the lights. Process. Some more of that sky gray on my brush. I think this is the last panel. I'm gonna refine this bottom edge just a wee bit. There we go. Let's come in to do the lights. And then we'll go into that final highlight color afterwards. And then I think once we finish doing the windows and the lights, I'm going to take a very quick break just to stretch my legs. get a breath of fresh air. Might also be a naughty boy and grab myself another Diet Coke because my first one went down way too easily and they're goddamn delicious. Love me a good Diet Coke. For the longest time, I used to hate on Diet Coke because I was kind of apprehensive about aspartame. I'm a bit of a health nut, but a lot of research seems pretty conclusive that aspartame, unless you are literally treating diet pop as a water replacement, you're probably just fine. So if you have like 1, maybe 2 a day, you're probably just fine. So I allow myself that at least. Alrighty, let's go into, let me make sure I did all those. I did. Okay, we're gonna go into the final highlight color. This is a white gray. It's actually a bit of a slightly, maybe it just looks warm compared to the colder grays, but I'm just gonna put a little dot in the corner. I'm gonna do that with all of these. I'm just doing the lights first. And the color now, and we'll go into the actual window panels. Really going to focus mostly just in that corner. Just a little bit more. As you can see, now that we have that nice kind of reflective gradient in that bottom left corner on all these, I'm going to go back in and clean up all the edges with some black shortly once I finish the final highlight dots on the other tower. And then we'll go in with some actual pure white and do little highlight dots in the top right hand corners. As I did with the other one, I'm just going to start with the little lights. Everything in moderation. Even too much water is unhealthy. Yeah, but you got to be drinking a pretty absurd amount of water for it to be unhealthy. I've heard that argument from people. You got to drink a lot of water for it to be unhealthy. You got to be drinking like 1.5 gallons to 2 gallons a day with like very low physical activity and like very low salt intake. But yes, moderation is key. And I generally speaking usually just have 1 Diet Coke in the evening as like a little treat. Especially if I have a sugar craving, it usually kills the sugar craving. It's actually one of my favorite things to use it for. Okay, I'm going to come in with the black now, just on a few of these areas. Pardon me if my head does get in the way just a little bit here. That edge. This one as well. Pardon my head. This is the last one. Side edge. Good enough. Go ahead and do the same on the other. I'll have to go back and do all the lights as well. There's a few areas around the edges of lights that I need to clean up as well. And then we'll do those final white reflection dots. Don't worry, it's only a matter of time before California finds out that the hydrogen monoxide is the leading cause of drowning and will be banned in schools and workplaces. Oh no, not water. The silent killer. A few of these I need to clean up. It's good. Okay. Let's go check out these lights now. These two are fine. This one is a little bit dirty, or a little bit messy rather. Go. I think that one is good to go. Just a little bit on the corner here. Apply on the brush. Check out this other guy here and make sure this one's good to go. There's a few down here I can tidy up. Just try to make sure that the corners are all kind of rounded in a somewhat uniform way. Some of these I put hard corners, some of them are softer corners. I'm just trying to make sure that they're all kind of a similar style and appearance. There we go, that one's good, and it's either the last one or the second last set of these I gotta do. Second last. This is the last one. Cool. Alrighty. Now we get to go in with a dot of white. I can grab a little bit of white ink. This is kind of my favorite tried and true one to use. And a little dot down on palette. Pardon me. Keep these small. Just trying to keep that reflection dot position consistent throughout. Same thing with the color gradient. Just quick and easy. Go ahead and do the same thing to these. We definitely want to make these dots a little bit smaller than the ones in the windows. Really trying to put these dots as close up into the corner as possible, especially on these ones, because the corner is kind of like 3D reliefed out from the thing rather than being like depressed in. And as you can see, got that very basic appearance of reflection in all these things. Looks good. I'm happy with that. And that wash lended to a weird dusty effect actually on the doors, so that worked out. We're gonna go ahead and repeat the process on this, and then we're gonna take a quick break. We'll come back, do the final few touches on the tents with the placards, as well as a little bit of like dry brushing on the crates, and then we can probably call it a night, because these will basically be done. Hooray! We'll not be varnishing these on stream tonight because that's just not good viewership quality material. But I will varnish these at a later time once they are complete. I'll hit them with some satin varnish to give them like a bit of a protective layer, because only satin and gloss protect, matte does not. And then once I hit it with the satin, I'll hit it with the matte varnish just to kill all the shine and bring everything back down to the same finish. And again, as you can see, we've got that implication of shiny things that reflect light. I'm happy with that. We're going to leave the ladder as is. It's a relatively uniform structure already. Not much left to do here, folks. So we're going to take a quick break. We'll be back in about 10 to 15 minutes. Outrageous, the varnishing is why I watch these streams. Well, I don't want to tease people too much, but I mean, I did mention that I'll be taking a few breaks from the stream, or a few weeks break from the stream, but in a couple weekends, my wife may be traveling with my daughter for a weekend, which means I'll probably have a stream-a-thon, which will involve at least some varnishing on stream when it comes to decal application or doing certain washes. But anyways, finger guns. We're going to take a quick break here. 15 minutes at most. Alrighty, folks. We're gonna change the theme of the music. We've swapped over to some World of Warcraft lo-fi beats. I hope you enjoy. Yeah, take a quick 5 minute for about 10 minutes. We'll be back in a half hour. Nice. Yeah, good one. We're just gonna get right back to it. Why not? Away we go. Alrighty. Let's have another Diet Coke. Old swig of that. So we're done on these guys. Nothing really else to do. We're gonna go ahead and paint just a few details on all of the Quonset huts. I'm gonna grab a little bit of Hull Red from AK. So, a bit of Dragon Red. This is a relatively transparent color, or translucent, I should say. So that's kind of layer up and highlight these. I'm just going to paint these straight up Hull Red, and then kind of do a quick little gradient and edge highlight with the Dragon Red. And then I'm going to add like Roman numerals to signify like 1, 2, and 3 on these. Whoops. It's actually my first time using Hull Red. I've seen it used in numerous tutorials. I like that it's like kind of a cross between a ruddy brown and like a crimson red. That's good. Just going to kind of spread the sticky stuff a little bit. You know, people warn me about white and red mix. Did I listen? Not really. Man, red is hard to work with. Red can be hard to work with. It really depends on like what your approach is. Now, I would ask, when you say you're working with white and red, what paint scheme are you painting? And is it more red dominant or more white dominant, or is it like a even mix of both? So I would say if you're going to be painting something that's like just like blocks of red, blocks of white, I would paint the entire thing in like kind of a grayish white, and then use contrast paints or speed paints to make your life easier. I'm also a big advocate for, like, for me, when I do my red, I generally speaking, I do like a complete zenithal undercoat, like just black primer with white ink, and I will do selective like volume highlighting, volumetric lighting, and do a quick little dry brush of white, and then I will hit it with my airbrush with some transparent red ink, and that is how I do the bulk of the paint work. From there, it's literally like pick out all my detail areas and block them in with black, and then paint said details, do some more edge highlighting, just with my detail brush. That's, you know, paint the base and that's it. So pretty quick and easy. Go ahead and grab that dragon red here. Go ahead and kind of paint this little gradient. That's the same back side here. Just a little bit. I'm going to actually use a brighter red to do the edge highlights. I'll grab probably Evil Sun Scarlet after this. Right now I'm just trying to kind of build a very simple, subtle gradient of red that gets a little bit brighter. So, the old hair there. Reasonably heavy coat here. Don't want it to go too heavy because I want this to dry relatively quickly. It's kind of like not glaze consistency, but almost. Set out. I'm going to go ahead and grab some Evil Sun Scarlet. Just going to use this to edge highlight. I'm going to use some of that light gray that I have with the white gray to do the numerals. That'll just be the easiest way. Oops. I got just a little bit of red in an area there that didn't really want to. I'm just gonna go ahead and move on in that area while that dries. That edge, this one as well. Follow that bottom edge, and then there's kind of like that little crease line there, so I just followed that as well. Let's go back to, no, we're gonna blow on that harder. Like so. Let's repeat on the next couple. These edges first. Just really try to use that hard edge. And I'm just finding those little raised kind of wrinkle areas and following those with a highlight line. Let's go. Set my brush quickly. Got these two little lines right here to do, and that's done. I don't really know what this thing is, and I don't really care. I'll be brutally honest. I don't really care. I'm gonna go ahead and say it's just a like a flap for like a tent heater or something like that. Yeah, heater hose. There's lots of tents, lots of big military mod tents have those. So, and they're usually just the color of the tent material around them. So I'm just gonna leave that as it is, because I don't care. We're gonna go ahead and this is the very first one that we kind of fudged up. Cool. Well, that's done. So there is a little bit of work we got to do on this. We got to do a little bit of dry brushing. What I'm going to do first is I'm going to grab a little bit of whole red, and I'm going to stipple, just kind of all over. What this is going to do is once I dry brush a little bit of metallic on this, is going to make it look like there's a little bit of rusty stuff underneath. Do like the lower sections, I guess. Repeat the process on the other side here. I am going to go back in and do a few other areas. I just want to kind of get through kind of the bottom sections of all of these first. The water on my brush. Help this paint stretch a lot longer. And I'm literally just stippling. I'm not going super neat or anything. Go ahead and rinse my brush. Get a little bit of moisture, go back onto that whole red paint. Coming back over here. Kind of stipple up and over a few random areas. Repeat the process on the other side. I might actually grab a little bit of, after I do this color, I might grab a little bit of the Formula P3 Bloodstone that I have on my palette, because it is also a ruddy brown, but it is a little bit brighter. I think I'm going to do that. Let's grab this. Thin this down just a little bit more to try to make it go into some of these recesses a little bit better. Doesn't all have to be perfectly even. I don't want this to go on super thick either, because I want this to dry relatively quickly. Once this dries, I am going to dry brush a little bit of metallic onto it. Probably just going to use like pig iron from Formula P3. It's a really dark gunmetal color. Look at that on the palette here. think I'm actually basically out. Putting out bubbles there. It's not quite enough. I'll deal with that later. I'm just gonna grab the next step up, which is just gunmetal from the Army painter. That. I really need to invest in speed paints, working on a budget. Yeah, working on a budget definitely sucks when it comes to the hobby space because everything's expensive. Spoken like a true soldier, I don't know what this is, and I really don't care. Yeah, yeah. And I say that as a company quartermaster. Because if I don't know what it is, then it's probably not important to me. And if it is, I'll find out, you know? One way or another. And then it'll be my problem, but until it is, it's not. So I don't worry about it. Alrighty, I'm gonna go ahead and grab this as a dry brush. I'm not gonna wet this at all. I want this to be relatively dry. By wet this, I mean I'm not gonna wet the brush that I'm using. I like doing this like a dark gray and then do a metallic over the top with like these brown tones because it's kind of like a mix of non-metallic metal and true metallic metal. Yeah, it's nice. I like it. Just like so. It's kind of nice. You got those like rusty tones in there, those dull tones, like that dark gray gives like that nice shading. So it's like a metallic that has had like a wash applied almost, but like very very heavy-handedly. Process on this side here. One thing I'm trying to be cognizant of is trying not to hit any of the green edges. There's like a couple on the other side that I accidentally hit, but that's okay. Probably just going to add a little bit of enamel wash right at the very end here and just call that a day. Call her a day, rather. A little bit more metallic to my brush. I just want to get a little bit more layering on the central areas here. I think that's good, actually. I don't think we need anything else on that. That's beautiful. You know what? We're going to do a little bit of a dry brush on the outside of these crates. I'm literally just going to grab, pardon my head, I'm going to grab a little bit of alizarin green and a tiny touch of like khaki, which is going to be by way of skeleton bone. It's like a very bright khaki, very bright tan. Skeleton bone. Hit some of these really hard edges. I think that's about good. Pretty low effort, looks good, and especially on a table, like this will stand out well. This is one of the things that I've been trying to, like, I don't know, like when I do terrain and buildings and stuff like that, like I try to balance, you know, like really good, like showmanship, like really, you know, something that looks really good with something that's practical. And especially because if I'm doing terrain and buildings, I'm generally doing them in big batches. So I want to get through them relatively quickly, but still have them look good. So I've managed to come up with a number of means and methods that seem to work pretty well. Oh, you know what? I didn't add the, I thought I was done here. I didn't add the numerals to these placards. I'm gonna finish that. Totally just derailed my little spiel that I was going on, but that's okay. I got to finish this. I'm gonna go ahead and grab a little bit of, this sky gray. Just a single full hash mark. Two for this guy. Drawing on my brush there. Do have a fan running in my office as per the usual. Hopefully, now that we're going through our what's supposed to be our last heat wave of the year here, hopefully I will be able to retire the fan until at least next summer. That'd be kind of nice. Just like so. There. Tent number 3, tent number 1, tent number 2. Boom. There we go. Let's go ahead. That was the final touch. Go ahead and take a look. But as I was talking about, yeah, earlier, I'm trying to always balance practical with what looks good. And you can have your cake and eat it too when it comes to this. Like, this was very low effort. It looks good. It gets the point across. It's not going to win any awards, but it's not, you know, it doesn't need to. It's just serving a purpose. Let's zoom in just slightly here. As a Texan, I must scoff when a Canadian complains about heat. So, believe it or not, it actually gets extremely hot, and it gets extremely hot in parts of Canada. doesn't necessarily get New Mexican desert hot, but it gets very, very hot here in certain spots in the country. The Canadians get to point and laugh at us Texans when half inch of snow shuts down our entire state. Yes, definitely. We definitely do get to do that. But it's also just because you guys aren't equipped for it. Like, you guys you just don't really get snow like that, you know? So when it happens, you guys are just fucked. It's also why when we have like insane heat waves for long periods of time, our people are just like, dude, what is going on? But yeah, on like, I don't know, I'd have to look at the conversion, but I mean, it gets up to, like, we get in the high 30s frequently throughout the summer. This summer was a little bit more mild, thankfully, but yeah, it's pretty, like, very, very hot here. Especially where I am, in particular, Manitoba, it has some of the biggest temperature swings from dead of winter to high heat of summer. Like, high heat of summer, we will hit 40 degrees with the humidity all the time. Like in August, like it'll happen for sure, multiple times. And in the winter time, it'll get down to minus 50. Also, again, for like weeks at a time, it will get to minus 50. And I know I'm talking in Celsius there, but like, you're talking 100 degrees Fahrenheit to negative 50 degrees Fahrenheit. Quite literally. Nuts. It's like where I live, the weather is always trying to kill us. So it is quite a trip. But yeah, I'm going to quickly clean my brushes. You folks can take a quick gander at the finished result here. These will get varnished. And then once they're varnished, I'll probably take some photos and then, I don't know, put them away to hopefully get used in a game in the next year or two. Whenever my wife and I get back to playing. We used to play pretty frequently, but ever since we had our daughter, it's made things a little bit difficult. She is very, very young, so very demanding of our attention, and playing a game of BattleTech is pretty consuming, or time consuming, can be anyways, especially when my wife and I play, because we usually tend to do kind of bigger games, and not always, but you know, usually, and we like doing campaigns, so that also adds another element of time sink into it. So but definitely excited to get to use this in the future. I really debated whether or not I should put, you know, this all onto like a plastic card base and, you know, do sand and everything to, you know, do like an actual like set piece. But I think keeping it modular like this as like scatter terrain will be pretty awesome, and honestly more realistic. It's like, can't tell you the number of times I've seen all manner of, you know, different, you know, layouts for FOBs and just fortifications. So yeah, the pigment powders turned out really nice, and the tops, pretty low effort there. A little bit of dry brushing at the beginning there of this stream. I've got the tents, Quonset huts, good to go. Got this guy, good to go as well, nice and shiny. Whoa, Midwest Miniatures guy, rating party of 17. What's going on? Thanks. Right at the end of the stream too. Well, let's hop over into chat, because that's always fun. Retromaker TV is now following. What's going on? Thanks for that. And thanks for the follow there, Midwest Miniature guy. I'm going to hop over to my PC desk, and we'll hop over into Discord. Let's hang out and chat for a bit, and then we'll close out the stream. Alrighty. I'm gonna pull Discord up. C'est bon. Go over to the real-time painting channel. Oh, tacos. I am very hungry now. I'm definitely gonna have a snack after we get off the stream. It's been a bit. Oh yeah, we're coming back to this. We're definitely coming back to this. Alright, so this is kind of where we left off-ish last stream. It's around here. We'll start off with Audible Jello's longbow. Edge highlights are coming along nice. Getting better at those. Looks pretty good. Oh, Yenlo Wang. So I do gotta say, I do find it very comical. It doesn't really make sense to me that Yenlo Wang has this whole, you know, House of the Rising Sun, Land of the Rising Sun, House of the Rising Sun iconography, but Justin Allard is of like half Chinese ethnicity. You know what I mean? Like he's half Capellan, which, you know, stereotypically for some of the novels is kind of portrayed as space China, even though that's not really what the Capella Confederation is. It just seems odd that it went, you know, like that. You would expect this on a Kuridan mech, not a Capellan mech, is kind of what I'm saying. But definitely digging this. This is much more of like an orange than a red to me, but looks cool. I like it. I like the dark panel lining too. Looks good. And then of course, Gray Noten's rifleman with the arms that flip. It's pretty cool. I like the hazard markings on the bases. Ooh, a true Centurion with the shield and all. That's awesome. Is that like 3D printed, or is that from like another miniature set? Like some fantasy miniature or something like that? Oh, and for the folks who are watching now, if you're curious about how to get into the Discord, go up to the top of the chat. And actually, we'll drop it in again here. Boom. Hop on in. Man TARDIS. Working on this. I like the hazard markings on the missile launchers. Good touch. I like doing that to some of my mechs as well. Mold lines are pretty bad on this guy. Yeah, looks like it. It's unfortunate. Ooh, Audible Gel, some liquid talent applied. Nice. You got a little bit of coffee staining going on here, though. You got a little bit of excess, I would say. I think it might be actually a little bit better served to thin that out a little bit so you don't have it bunching up on the panel surfaces. So then that kind of gives you like this coffee staining look here. Got like these splotchy areas. I go back over it with my base color on high panels. Oh, okay. So you're doing like old school, like layer, wash, layer, highlight, secondary high. Okay, I see. Definitely makes sense. I tend to just do like not necessarily pin washing, but I tend to do like very thinned washes that run off the panels. I guess I shouldn't impose my styling and methods on others. I do like this. This looks cool. Very menacing. I kind of like the four eyes look to this, as opposed to just like the single like Cylon eye. That looks neat. Ooh, the Kintaro. Loving the canopy colors. Looks like you got a little bit of blue in there, or maybe that's just like a blue-green, or just the dark green that you chose has a little bit of blue hue in it. But looks good. Looks really nice. Especially with the background, actually. Like, very much so with the background. Looks really good. Very fitting. Great job, man. Alright. Kevin Witt, Brushido. This is like the first mech he's ever done like a proper cell shading on, and this is essentially, I think it's 1 to 400 scale. Is Gundam Assemble. I'd have to double check, or 1 to 350 or something like that. I can't remember. It's I don't think it's proper 6mm scale though, but they are similar size to BattleTech miniatures. This looks unreal, like super cool. Looks straight out of a comic book. Looking at Mantardis's message, Prussian blue. Dude, base Prussian blue. Prussian blue is very, very good. It's a really good base color if you're trying to do like a jade green. Prussian blue is money. Good choice. I really dig this look overall. He does have some other photos in another Discord. Another Discord channel that we're both in, but this looks unreal. I really want to do this. Like, I kind of want to get some of the Gundam Assemble miniatures, just because I love that I'd have to double check. I think that they might, maybe they are at 6mm scale. I think they're slightly smaller scale than that. Like similar size, but smaller scale. Oh, dude. Brisket tacos. My God. And then this is the mech scale Union. Yeah, lots of details here you can pick out. That's another thing I'm gonna like. So like the layer lines that you can kind of see here on the dropship from the printing process. That's one thing I do need to also work on with the Borealis dropship that I have from Thunderhead Studios, because it does have some layer lines on some of the components, and being that it was kind of an expensive piece, because I didn't print it myself, I purchased it already printed direct. I think I'm probably going to use like filler primer and maybe do a little bit of sanding. I also do have some perfect plastic putty I'll probably use on a few areas and sand, but yeah. Very intimidating to paint something this big. But yeah. Some good stuff. Yeah, if you are watching this evening and you have not yet popped into the Discord, I highly recommend hopping over there. All the stream alerts go up on there, so whenever I'm going to be going live. And if you're new to the channel, generally speaking, Monday and Thursday evenings at around 8-ish, I go live for a couple hours, and then every Saturday at around 8, I go live for usually 3 or 4 hours, give or take. It's been kind of hit or miss the last week or so, just dealing with a sick kid and then fighting off the bug myself. But yeah, probably going to be doing some video game streaming, MechWarrior Online and MechWarrior 4 single player playthroughs specifically. Probably in the coming weeks, just while I'm not going to be painting on stream, because I'm going to be working kind of on a secretive project. But yeah, stay tuned for that in the stream alerts, as well as just general chat for all the updates. Lots of stuff coming down the pipe. As I mentioned at the beginning of the stream, I'm doing a little bit of force building. I am building up some Clan Protectorate forces, as well as adding to my Draconis Combine Mustard Soldiery Sword of Light Regiment ranks, as well as adding to what else am I adding to? My Eridani light horse, just like this Highlander here, some olive drab fellas. I'm going to be doing pretty much beginning to end coverage of doing all 3 of those projects. So y'all are going to get to see the olive drab layering process finally on stream. That's going to be awesome. You're also going to get to see how I do my bright, vibrant red mechs, just like this Panther that you see on screen here. Very, very simple, especially if you have an airbrush. And even if you don't have an airbrush, you can replicate it using other means and methods, which I can kind of go over on stream. But yeah, it's going to be good. So stay tuned for that. Well, with that, I think I'm happy to call it an evening, folks. I really appreciate your time and hope you enjoyed your stay in Arclight's Asylum watching tonight's episode of Real-Time Painting. I hope to see you again in the next episode, whenever that may be. It's probably going to be later this week, either Thursday or Saturday evening. This week's going to be a little bit busy with work, so probably Saturday I might hop on to do a little bit of video game shenanigans, playing some MechWarrior Online. We'll probably get some of the people in the Discord to hop in. I know Damocles in the Discord loves to play it, as well as a few other people. It's going to be pretty good. I'll be putting out some updates in the Stream Alerts channel on the Discord, so stay tuned for that. Until then, though, I will bid you folks a good night. Stay safe, stay strong, stay true, and have a good one, y'all.